Starlink, dude.
It's a digital.
What?
It's a digital hand job.
Starlink.
Oh, okay.
One I recommended.
Cool beans. I'm waiting for this. I'm waiting for this chick to give me her address so I can bring her over later tonight. So I can lift Uber her over. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She ain't got a whip, baby. No whip. And I'm too old to be driving to go. I'm too old to be driving to go pick chicks up and bring them over to my house and shit. Fuck that. Take a lift.
Are you gonna at least give her the money? Are you gonna make her pay to come sleep with you?
What money? I don't give chicks money. I don't give them money. I buy shit. I buy shit, but I don't give them. I don't give them money. I don't transactional when it comes to. I'm not really super into transactional sex.
To pay for a ride?
I'll do it. Don't get me wrong. You know what I'm saying? I'm not afraid to go the business route in that area. But I'm just saying it's not my my proclivity or whatever. You know, it's not my like shit or whatever to go in that area, that direction.
I mean, I didn't say anything about like paying for it. I said like, are you gonna at least pay for the ride to go see you?
Oh yeah, I pay for that shit, of course. I'm very chivalrous. I'm very chivalrous. If you're gonna bring some pussy to me, I'll pay.
Okay. That's what I was asking.
We're live, by the way. This
I know.
This is a little more of the old B-roll, the MCU'S Bleeding Edge B-roll right there. A little behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? What's up, folks? Rings of Power, episode 8. J-Ret, what do you think, brother? Does it feel good to have done the whole series with us? You feel a sense of accomplishment?
It feels good to be consistent. You know, staying on a course and following it and seeing it through. Absolutely. It's a small, stepping stone of accomplishment for many more.
You know, Wrath, I was telling these guys a story on Agatha last week. I wanted to do a supernatural sex story for the show to tie it into Agatha because it's witches about witches. And I was talking about this one time I met this chick, this really fine young chick when I was younger that was on her period, and she thought I wasn't trying to hit it because she was on her period or whatever. And I was like, nah, I'm down for that shit. Like, yeah, I never let it stop me before, you know. And she was surprised. So like I pulled her tampon out with my teeth. Like I grabbed the string of the tampon with my teeth and pulled it out with my teeth. Like I made like a wolf noise. I was like, ah, and I bit the fucking tampon out, and then I had it up in my mouth, and then I spit it out before I hit it.
Why are you lying?
Just to show how I get, just to show her how I get down. No, I did it, J-Rat. I'm serious. Total true story.
That sounds so unbelievable, bro.
No, I did it.
Oh my God.
Motion. I snatched that bitch
gross.
out. No, it was all right.
Wait, how come you didn't become a doctor then if you're not afraid of blood?
Well, I mean, in the past life, I used to be a world famous gynecologist, right, J-Rat? At one point, I was a world famous gynecologist in one of my past lives, but that was a long time ago.
Yeah, sure, man. Whatever you say.
I was too good at my job. I was fucking things up. So, you know what I'm saying?
Bro, if you became a doctor, you wouldn't be broke, bro.
I'm not broke. Why are you bringing up the word broke all of a sudden?
No, we're just playing, bro, because of that earlier conversation about not paying for Uber rides.
Not paying for some shit does not mean I'm broke. It just means
It could.
It could. We're kidding.
It's all about decision making, sir. But yes, I'm very chivalrous. I pay for the Ubers and the lifts and all that kind of stuff. Of course I do. I'm not afraid to shell out.
You're a
I'm not afraid to
gentleman.
shell out the money. That's right. I
You're a
pay.
true gentleman.
Shit. When I go out with chicks, I pay for everything. They don't pay for nothing, and they know I'm paying for everything. I don't have to say anything. I don't have to say anything about it. The waiter knows I'm paying. They bring the check to me at the end of the night. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't bring it to her. They bring it to me.
Because
because
one way or not, they're gonna pay for it too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, someone's got to pay, but they know I'm going to pay, so they bring it to me. You ever had that happen before, J-Rat? When you want to eat, the waiter can tell that you're going to pay.
Yeah, I think it's like automatically assumed.
We have a delay. I think it's my Wi-Fi. We have a little bit of a delay. So unless it's, we have a little bit of a delay. I'm sorry about that, guys.
It's okay.
Cyber's running late, folks. So Cyberneticshark will be here. This is the MCU'S Bleeding Edge. It is. What is it? It is Friday, 10/4/2024. We are here. We're at the con, J-Rep 2000, to wrap up Rings of Power. I feel a big sense of accomplishment. I'm glad that we got this bitch over. I'm glad it got better at the end. Shit got pretty lit. You know what I'm saying? The finale was lit. So what'd you think, Wrath? Was the finale lit or what? You thought it was a store fest.
Okay, so it was a snooze fest, like those first 6 episodes. So I mean, I didn't watch like the middle episodes because I ran out of working days. So no, these last 2 episodes, especially this last one, like it was epic. Like I was more tuned in than before, and since I did not have work this week, so I was able to watch it fully and enjoy it.
Okay. Well, J-Rat somehow managed to go to work and watch the show. I don't know how, but he pulled it off. J-Rat, the finale was lit, right? What'd you think?
Yeah, it was good. It was really good. I liked it. And then, obviously they're setting up for a season 3. Prolong this shit. How can we stretch this motherfucker out?
They finally made the stranger Gandalf. They finally did it.
Yeah, they did. I like how they did it too. I kind of do, but Grand Elf.
Well, it's about time they gave him a name. I mean, the big question was whether he was Gandalf or not. So I'm glad they finally got it out of the way. It's about time. It took him 16 episodes to give him a name.
I don't like how
I'm glad we don't have to call him the stranger anymore. That shit was getting old.
I was gonna say they pulled the old.
Go ahead.
The Game of Thrones. They pulled the Game of Thrones card when naming him. Do you know what I'm talking about? The Hodor.
Explain.
Remember Hodor? Hodor. Remember how Hodor got his name? He kept repeating that big guy. Hodor. Hold the door. Hold the door.
I didn't watch Game of Thrones.
Really? Okay. Anyway, so Game of Thrones, there's a character. His name's Hodor, right? That's his name, Hodor. And you don't know how he got his name, but like you see an old story of him when he was a kid or whatever, and he went like brain dead, and the only thing he can say is hold the door, because at some point in the future he was like saving like these really important characters, and so like all he could hear was hold the door, hold the door, hold the door. And so like in his mind he kept repeating hold the door, and his name became Hodor at once. And they kind of did this.
I saw that episode. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So they kind of did that with Gandalf, in my opinion. That's what I was saying.
I kind of tranced out when that happened for a little bit. Like all of a sudden he was there with Tom Bombadil and he was like Gandalf, Oh, that's all that's all I knew.
So you missed it. You missed the part where when the little hobbits were gonna call him, when they decided to call him a name, there was a part where they were thanking him for helping, and they said, "Thank you, Grand Elf." They called him a Grand Elf. They called him a grand elf. And then the other hobbits are like, oh, these people have never seen elves before. So they think he's an elf. And they called him grand elf. And then so he mushed it into Gandalf from grand elf.
Well, he kind of like he comes from the elves, you know, like he's a man, but he comes from the elf, like the people from like the elvish people. He's from those lands, so it makes sense. He's from the Valinor or whatever, the whatever you want to call it. He's like a god almost. He's a wizard. What's up, Cyber?
Hello.
Cyber, I've got an audio delay because of my shitty Wi-Fi, so just heads up, I'm delaying a little bit tonight.
Okay.
But so the beginning of the episode starts off with The Rings of Power, season 2, episode 8, of course. And essentially, it starts off with the Khazad-dûm and the dwarves and Durin. And so the episode begins with Durin the second heading down to speak to his father. King Durin refuses to take off his ring, though it works out for the moment. He breaks through into a vast mithril cavern. Everything seems to be perfect until a monstrous creature appears, the Balrog from The Lord of the Rings appears, right? Great intro, I thought. Really well done. Great to see the Balrog again. Very intimidating, very intense looking. In a seriously emotional moment, King Durin sacrifices himself to fight the Balrog, ensuring his son gets to safety. King Durin is killed, though, and rocks fall between him and Prince Durin and Disa that effectively saves the rest of Khazad-dûm from destruction. Elsewhere, the stranger finally comes across the mysterious Dark Wizard. The Dark Wizard calls the stranger an old friend and says there are 5 of their kind. Tolkien fans might have found their ears pricked up here, as of course these 5 wizards are Gandalf, Saruman, Radagast, and 2 blue wizards named Alatar and Palindo. The Dark Wizard also doesn't actually like to be called the Dark Wizard either, saying that's a name placed upon him by men out of ignorance. However, the stranger isn't keen on going with the Dark Wizard and turns him down. Once he sees that Poppy and Nori are in danger, when your senses have returned, I will be waiting, the Dark Wizard says, but not before a brief magical showdown. So I'll stop there, and I'll go to you, Cyber, since you just came in. What were your thoughts on the introduction of episode 8?
Just like you said, it's super solid beginning. Getting to see Balrog again, I was literally sitting there going, "Oh my God, Balrog! Oh my God, Balrog!" I was like literally jumping up and down in my seat because that was just so freaking awesome. And like we said before, they really have put the money into this series, and so that the Balrog looked amazing. I mean, he looked so huge and badass, and he just looked so cool. And then like pulling that in with kind of that like sentimental moment there with King Durin and his son. And I thought that was kind of an interesting way of like kind of moving the story on and allowing, Durin the second to become king, kind of. And I thought that was a cool like way of starting off the episode, giving us the first Balrog, showing that he is in that mountain, like everyone has mentioned, and kind of killing off a character right off the bat. I was like really shocked, like, whoa, okay. We knew it was either going to come down to him dying of some sort of way because he would have give up the ring. So I wasn't too shocked, but at the same time, I was like, oh, that's an interesting way of doing it. Him battling Balrog. And that just whole scene just blew me away. It was so cool. And leading up, like after that, moving on into the episode, we get some really interesting things going on. We finally get to see Poppy and Nori again for you there. And that was like my first thought watching this going, oh, I wonder how much Poppy and Nori are we going to get in this episode? Because like we said, throughout the series so far, the season, we've had some really big episodes where they were kind of a big part, and then we had little bit parts with them. And I'm like, oh, let's get some more Poppy and Nori for Jeff. Let's hope for that. So when they finally popped up, I was like, oh, good, good that we got a little bit at least, not very much, but good. But the Stranger popping up again too at the same time was great, because he's been a really strong character this season. And I really enjoyed that beginning section of the episode. I thought it was a really good, strong start to the finale.
Wrath of Khan, your thoughts, sir?
I mean, like everyone else said, very great intro. I will say in the beginning, I thought it was going to be quiet because they're just talking, the king and his son. And then once he like dug a little too further, that's where we saw the Balrog. And, when I first saw the Balrog, I was like, is this like a dragon or something? Because it's like my first time seeing all of this. And it's very cool, like you have these monsters that are like deep underground. And I just like how in the end of that scene, he calls his son King Durin instead of Prince, like just like a proper send off. And he even says something else. And I was lucky Forbes has this quote. He said, "I never let you raise your arm. It was always you getting stronger." Like just a beautiful way to just say goodbye, give confidence, all that stuff. And of course, everything fell, the whole mines fell, and I thought we would see Balrog again because he's that strong, but I guess we didn't. So I'm speechless with the whole intro. It's very good. It got me hooked. Well done. Well placed.
Sir, it was not so good that it was speechless, like worthy, just to be clear. It was not that good. J-Rat, sir.
What's up?
What are your thoughts, sir?
I like the intro. I really did like the way it started off. I like the the whole sentiment between him and his father. He went down there to try to reason with him, to talk some sense, but the ring is overpowering. When he made that last break, and then the Balrog comes out. Well, before that, the when his son was talking to him about that being strong, like he knows, it kind of ties into what Wrath of Khan was talking about, but he only gave like a part of like that meaning when he was talking to his father in that instance of saying like, I know you're stronger than me. I've always known you were stronger than me. When I was little, I knew it because whenever we play arm wrestle, you'd always let me win just a little bit, just to make me feel good before you beat me, right? And that's like the whole goes into that last part. But like his father is still with the ring on, so like this is like him hearing it in the back of his, in the back of his mind, or while he's trapped with the ring. Then for whatever reason, when he does that last crack, and then you see the Balrog comes in, and then like it comes to his senses at that point in time, like, what have I done? He takes it off at that moment, realizes that he's caused all this mess after he's taken the ring off, because now that he took it off, he's come to his senses and realized all the wrong he's done. And I think the only way he knew to set it right, that he could live with himself, was to sacrifice himself. And then responding to his son in that manner, it made it real, like they try to make it real sentimental, which it kind of was. It was a good opening for that. And then he does the sacrifice, because again, he caused all this, and I think the only way out for him was to do something like this. And they did that really cool like slow motion jump, and like you can see his dwarf legs, and when his axe connects with the whip of the Balrog, and it causes that like explosion, that was really cool. So it was a good opening for sure.
Okay. Yes. It was definitely not speechless, like at the speechless, elevation to things. You know what I'm saying? But
it was a good opening. It was just a good opening.
It was good to see Poppy and Nori again. You can't go wrong with that. Poppy had a sick love scene in episode 7. We didn't even really talk about it, but she had a sick love scene, and she kissed fucking what's his name the
Sonic.
stupid Hobbit dude. What's his fucking name? It's so stupid. His name is like
Sonic.
Not Sonic.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
No, his name's not Sonic. The Hobbit guy that's got the stupid fucking name that kissed fucking Poppy. What's his name? That stupid fucking black Hobbit. Nobody knows his fucking name.
He looks like Sonic the Hedgehog.
Bro, we're not gonna entertain these sexual thoughts, okay?
Well, either way, that guy is fucking stupid. The guy I'm talking about that kissed Poppy. I was very jealous that he kissed Poppy before me, because I like Poppy and Dory. Although Poppy is kind of fuckly looking, I gotta be honest with you. She's a little rough looking at times, but she's still my girl. So just to be clear. What are you making faces at me, J-Rat?
She's horrendous. She looks like a homeless person.
A well-fed one, bro.
A homeless person. Like
a well-fed one, J Rent.
Out of all the females in that show, that's the one that. Hey man, you know what? I'm just not in my head, but I mean, it's to each his own, you know.
I thought Poppy was. I thought Poppy was a dude for the longest time, and then Cyber told me Poppy was a girl.
My point exactly. Like, oh, she's a girl. I like her.
I went the whole first season thinking Poppy was a guy.
Thank you for saving us, Cyber.
Yeah. And then Cyber straightened me out. So there you go. All right. So meanwhile, over in Numenor, my favorite fucking place in Rings of Power, my favorite fucking place to go. You know what I'm saying? It's always really exciting in Numenor, you know? You know what I'm saying? It's like it's the coolest chunk of shit ever when they go over there. So meanwhile, over in Numenor, everyone faithful to the Sea Queen is declared a traitor. What a surprise. What a shock. That puts Elendil in danger, and his daughter runs to warn him before he can be arrested, meaning he escapes. Back in Eregion, things have gone from bad to worse. Celebror is slowly being murdered by Sauron, still in his Anatar Queerbow guise. Before Celebror can die, though, he tells Sauron, the Rings of Power shall destroy you. He also warns that one alone shall prove your utter ruin. Now that sounds a lot like Frodo to us. Before dying, Celebrimbor declares Sauron the Lord of the Rings, which draws a tear from the Dark Lord's eye. The orcs that enter the room and ask Anatar if he is Sauron. I have many names, he replies ominously. So I'll stop there. I'll go back to you, J-Rat 2000. What do you think about the super exciting, high-level Numenorian shit that we got? And the awesome Eregion Celebrimbor torture shit.
It was all good. It was awesome. You know, just the kind of talking to him on a level. He kind of has some respect for him, you know, because and I'm getting this also from like just reviews that I've seen, but I see it so I can understand it. Of some type of respect for the guy because he kind of worked with him for a while and he respected his craft a little bit. But he's keeping him alive. He's got all those, arrows in him, I guess, not those pressure points or whatever, and just kind of talking with him. And, Celebrimbor brings up the topic of like these rings, they control you. You don't control the rings, they control you. And this is we're getting to like where he's kind of like having this idea to like come up with the one ring. Like this is all leading up to that. We're not there, but this is where the idea comes up, I think, of the one ring is when he brings up, you're the Lord of the Rings. I thought that was really cool how they threw that in there. He called him the Lord of the Rings, and I was like, they did it. They said it. They said it in here. They said Lord of the Rings. So I was really excited for that, just that little piece to come out. And that kind of gave him like a tear. And I thought about it and I was like, why is he crying? You know, like what is it? I don't get it. Why is he crying? But it felt like he didn't feel the power enough with where it was at. And so I think this is why I think this is where he has the idea for the One Ring now because of this. And yeah, I mean that was a good scene there.
Okay, Wrath of Khan.
Okay, so after he kills Salimbar and all those orcs come in, and he's like, "Are you Sauron?" And Sauron, he's like, "I have many names." And as someone who isn't that big into the Rings of Power universe, I'm like, this guy's obviously Sauron. How could you just be like, "Are you Sauron?" Like, no, just that part. I mean, yeah, I don't have the full context, so I can't judge fully. But just that part, just the thought I had with that whole scene. I never expected Salimbar to die. I thought he would stay until season 3 because, you know, he made the rings. I think just him being the craftsman of the rings that are basically the center of this entire series. That's where I'm just like, okay, so I guess I know he's no longer making rings. We got to kill him right now in the finale. But I
They had
trust
to
the
kill off
creator.
some characters. They got to
Yeah,
kill off some characters over time. It's only natural to kill off a character or two here or there. You got to do it. It's part of the game.
that's
You know,
true. I mean,
it's
he already made
part
all
of
the rings,
you know,
so all good.
you need stuff like that. You need stuff like that for the show. You know, it's good for the show. You know, a good character death is good. You know, depending on how you do it, right? And what character it is. But Cyber, what are your thoughts, sir?
Yeah, so this section of the episode I found to be entertaining and interesting. Just like Wrath, I was really shocked about Celebrimbor being killed too as well. I thought that was very odd that they killed off him, but at the same time, I get that that would probably be a good idea to be able to push the story on about that city being destroyed and other elves we have to talk about and stuff like that. So I get that depths needed to happen. We always have depths happen that move the story along. So I definitely that was kind of a part of why Celebrimbor probably was killed. But that whole scene where he's got all those arrows stuck in him and stuff like that, and then Sauron puts it up on the wall and puts that giant thing in him. You're just like, what the hell? Like, dude, a little overkill there, huh, sir? Like, I mean, I know you're Sauron and all, but come on, bro. A little overkill. And because I mean, at the point there, they're talking, and he like puts another arrow in him too at the same time. So I'm like, wow, this is a brutal kill. So I think that was just really crazy, and at the same time, just really cool because you're like, wow, this elf could take some beating before he dies. So I thought, they did that very well. But yeah, overall, I mean, this whole section, was decent. It was interesting. It had a lot of great moments, and I think that leading into kind of that almost the halfway point of the episode, I think that it's off to a decent start.
Okay. Yeah, I thought that season 2 was better than season 1, in my opinion, at least. It was an improvement over the first season. So and that's positive to see. It's good as a viewer, and somebody who's going to keep watching the show. It's good to see an improvement in the series because season 1 was very 50-50. It was very up and down in terms of the episodes and our reviews and what our thoughts were about about the episodes as we went through the season. There was a lot of good and there was a lot of bad. But I want to definitely say that the finale and the final episodes of season 1 were not at this level, this high level that they brought the show to in episode 7 and 8. they didn't really go to they didn't go like it wasn't like that in season 1. But they really they took the show to a different level in episode 7 and 8, I have to say. So over in the Southlands, Theo finally returns home safely. Isildur and Estrid share a kiss, and Kemen arrives from Numenor, which totally like had me puzzled because I'm like, Numenor is by the Southlands? I didn't even know that. All's not well, though, as he won't give the Southlands the aid. Oh, sorry. That was promised, and Isildur's friends aren't allowed to leave with him. Isildur boards a ship home, leaving Estrid behind. Catching up with Galadriel, who was on the run with the 9 rings for men, she encounters Adar once more. Curiously, her ring, which he took from Elrond at the end of episode 7, has healed him, returning him back to his old elven look. When he gives the ring back, however, the corruption returns. Adar is the name I earned, he says, before asking Galadriel to help him earn it back. It means father. The orcs, however, aren't so keen on this. They betray him and stab him to death, just as Adar urged them to do to Sarad so many years ago. Sarad, meanwhile, watches on. So I'll stop there again, and I'll go back to you, Cyber. Cyber, what are your thoughts on that set of scenes?
So this section here is kind of where it got a little slower, and we had all kind of that exposition going on, giving us kind of the introductions and kind of where certain characters were at. The kiss between the two there, I was really shocked by that because I was like, I didn't realize they were supposed to be love interests. So I was kind of shocked by that when she goes up and kisses him, and I was kind of like, huh, that's interesting. I wonder if that's going to play off into season 3 or not. So that'd be interesting to see. But like that conversation he has between him and the boy, the brother of Brownwind from the first season that was not in this season, I thought that was kind of an interesting kind of little kind of older brother, younger brother kind of talk type of deal. And I thought that was kind of interesting. And it's going to be interesting to see if there's anything that comes of that too later on in other seasons. Of course, then, we have more of Galadriel and stuff like that, and which is, fun. And, Morfydd Clark has kind of grown on me over this season. She definitely was better in this season than the first season, I thought. And I don't think she's horrible. I don't think she's the greatest, but I still think that she's pretty much, she's kind of traveled to the middle for me now, and she's not that shabby. So I did appreciate kind of some of these scenes in this episode. She really kind of took it up and brought it up a notch for me, and I thought that she did a good job in her scenes. Leading up to the death of Eredor, the Orc King, the Orc father. I was surprised by that. What better way to end the season and start the season with a death, like what happened in the first episode. That's what they did to Sauron. So what happens to him? The same exact thing, but at the very last episode. So I was like, wow, that was really quick to kill him. They couldn't kill him in that big battle we had in the last episode. I was like, so it was kind of a little too quick for me. I was like, I thought he put up a little more fight before he got stabbed and killed like that by the orcs. So I was a little disappointed there, but at the same time, it's like, oh, wow, they got rid of that guy too. I'm like, holy crap. Like, I was expecting a little more from him too. But still, I thought that, the orcs betrayed him. That was a really great kind of little thing you didn't see really coming. You kind of, throughout the episodes, I feel you could kind of see the orcs, and especially in the last 2 episodes, kind of get miffed at their father, for all the orcs dying and stuff like that. So it wasn't too shocking, but at the same time, you're like, holy crap. They just do it like they did in the first episode. So I thought that was pretty well done, that end sequence there that where we're stopping at with the death of him. And his conversation with Gadriel, I thought was really interesting. Him, having the ring and making him look like an elf again. I thought that was cool. And I thought that kind of was an interesting little tidbit, kind of giving you a last glimpse of like, this is what he used to be, and now this is what he is. So I thought that was a kind of a cool little writing step too for the episode. So overall, really decent section, a little slower, but decent and interesting.
This is actually very interesting. I found this, guys, J-Ret. A man was brought before the judge after a 72-hour psych hold. The man claimed that he was having intercourse with a ghost. The judge apparently became a bit flustered with the man and discussing the impossibility of such a thing. The man held fast that he was having a sexual relationship with a ghost. The judge apparently reached his limits, and to prove his point, asked the court audience, has anyone ever had intercourse with a ghost? The courtroom was silent as everyone looked around when an older man in the back raised his hand. The judge was shocked. He confirmed with the man, "Sir, do you mean to tell this court you had intercourse with a ghost?" The man looked puzzled and replied, "Sorry, Your Honor, I thought you said goat."
It's so stupid. Goat.
There you go. There you go. Little humor to add to the show there, guys. There you go.
Thanks. Thank you.
He thought the guy said goat, not ghost. There you go. What do you think, Jay? What do you think of that section of the episode, J-Rat?
I don't quite remember it. I really thought I remembered everything on the episode, but I guess I don't.
Oh, you forgot all about it?
No, but maybe I turned my head sideways and missed it, because I would have remembered that one for sure.
Oh shit, you missed the fucking part of the episode where fucking Adar got stabbed?
No. Oh, you're asking me about that, or I thought you were asking me about the goat joke.
No. I mean, I never thought you actually. I never thought you had sex with a goat or like a ghost or anything like that. You're not that kind of person.
Absolutely not. I'm just kidding. Anyway, that part of the episode was really transitioned well from Celebrimbor to her, running into Andar, showing him like I got 9 reasons, I got these rings. And then you see him, you don't see his face, you just see him like, crouched over some rocks, and he's like, let us be. And then he turns around and she's like, who are you? Right. And she sees that he's an elf. And I knew he looked like an elf. I didn't really know he was an elf before. I don't know if that was ever like brought to our attention that he was an elf at one point, but we could see like elvish features on him. And then when he had this ring on and it healed him, it made him look like this really like, tall, healed up elf. And then he was like, that name is gone. That's not important. I'm Andar. And then he took it off and he's like, I don't want this because, I got to where I'm at looking like, dirt. And so he took off the ring and he slowly, started losing his features. Oh, I really want to bring this up too, since we're talking about those rings. I had to look this up because throughout this whole episode, it was very confusing to me. So I don't know if you know this or we missed it, but the elf rings are not corrupted. Do we know that? Do y'all know that? Do we know that? You know how like all the other elf rings are
all corrupted. I thought
okay, so that's what I thought too. But the elf rings are the only rings that are actually not corrupted. And I looked through fact check through every source I could, and this is correct. The elf rings are the only rings that are not corrupted because Sauron saw over them, but he had no input in their creation. And I looked it up through the show. I looked it up on the actual story. The elf rings are the only rings that are actually not corrupted. You can Google it, look it up. They're not corrupted. They're in charge of like healing, slowing of decay, and something else, which would lead up to the end when the other elf puts it, later on. We'll talk about that. But it was very confusing to see those rings still in play, given like how things have played out. And I had to look that up, and I was wrong because I thought they were terrible, and they're not. So, I was wrong about them. Anyway, him getting stabbed all those times was a little excessive. You know, you see his dead fish face. He's all, and he's all.
They really pushed the violence in this episode and the last episode.
I just, they just show his face, right, and he's just getting stabbed like golly,
Well,
But, I guess it was fitting.
I thought it was good. I thought it was good for the tone of the show that they had some more serious stuff happen, like Celebrimbor getting fucked up, cutting his arm off, getting shot with those arrows. That shit was brutal as fuck. What do you think, Wrath?
I like how things come full circle, where in the very beginning of this season, we saw Adar tell everyone, all the orcs, to stab Sauron. And now we see the same thing happen to him. It was just very interesting to just see that everything come full circle, and Sauron's just like watching everything. And I might be mistaken, but I know in the beginning of the season, Sauron was also stabbed by like a crown. Did they actually do that also here against Adar? Oh. But I just like how everything just came full circle.
I thought you asked. Did you ask a question?
Yeah, I did.
What'd you ask?
Oh, I asked if the same crown that they used to stab Sauron in the beginning of the season, like, did they also use that to stab Adar in this episode? No? Okay. Just spears. Okay. But yeah, that's all I have to say.
The Uruks aren't allowed to touch the crown. Only Sauron can touch the crown. So they stabbed him with knives and swords and shit.
Bruh, Sauron should have used that against Adar.
He was dead.
Either way, I was really kind of disappointed that they fucking killed Adar. I like Adar. He's dead now. Like, there's no coming back from fucking, you know what I'm saying? From like the way he got fucked up. I mean, somehow our boy, that one elf, survived episode 7. He got fucked up. He got stabbed up by Adar. But that motherfucker bounced back like nothing even happened to him. Like, for real.
Yeah, that was weird.
The silver elf, the Hispanic looking elf. That motherfucker, he bounced back from some fucking serious mortal fucking injuries and shit, man. I was like, holy fuck. So anyways, back to the episode. In Eregion, my favorite fucking city, I love the name, Elrond and High King Gil-galad are taken captive, but they are soon saved by the dwarves arriving. Is it just me, or like, how did they get so fucked up so bad by the orcs? And then the dwarves just showed up, and there's only like, when Durin did his speech with the dwarves, there was only like 50 fucking dudes there. Like, so you're telling me 50 fucking dwarves showed up, right? And they fucking kicked that whole orc army's ass or whatever? I don't get that. That doesn't make any sense to me. But whatever. So, but they are soon saved by the dwarves arriving. Prince Durin, however, is not with them, as he is in the mourning for his father. The dwarves tip the balance in Eregion and drive out the orcs. Back in the forest, Galadriel and Sauron come to blows. I know your mind, Sauron says, telling Galadriel the door is still open. Galadriel declares the door is shut. Their battle rages on, and Galadriel is forced to fight against Sauron in disguise as Halbrand, herself and Celebrimbor. She also takes some serious wounds, culminating in Sauron stabbing her with his crown. Galadriel falls to the ground, and Sauron takes the 9 rings from her. He tries to bewitch her into handing over her ring, but Galadriel jumps backwards off the cliff's edge and escapes him. Sauron is so upset by this that he stabs one of the orcs, killing him. We're betting they might be rethinking their change of allegiance now. So I'll stop there. I'll go to you, Wrath. Your thoughts on that passage of the episode, sir?
So I found the fight between Sauron and Galadriel to be very interesting. I do like how there were many times where it's like you think Galadriel's about to die, but no, somehow she like escapes. and is like fighting again. And the thing I did not like about that fight was how in the end she took out her ring and then she literally like put it in like a ball, right? And like looked like as if she was about to give it to Sauron. And I'm just like, you know, if Sauron was smart, he would just like immediately grab her arm, grab the ring, and be done. And then suddenly, instead, she's like, but actually, you're not gonna have it. And then she quickly pulls her arm back and just falls off the cliff. I'm just like, I think they could have done that better because just everything is just silly. Doesn't make sense. I mean, also shows how stupid Sauron is. Like he could have took the ring right there, you know, not like lay his guard down and trust that she'll give the ring to him. And seeing him stab the orc after, I mean, I'm not surprised by that. I mean, I think it just plays more into Sauron's character of, you know, if he's angry, he'll just stab an orc. But yeah, that's all I have to say. It's just they could have done it better.
You remember when we saw the orc baby in that one episode? We saw the orc baby and the orc family.
I think so. What about it? Like, how does that relate?
Sauron would kill that baby.
Oh yeah,
He would kill that orc baby and that orc woman and shit. Because Sauron's a badass. He don't give a fuck, like you said.
yeah. I mean, isn't that what Adar did too?
No, Adar saves the orcs. He didn't kill the orcs.
Oh, okay. Wait, it's kind of stupid. They killed
What are you talking
Adar.
about, Rathacon? I know.
This universe is new.
They killed
Okay,
Adar.
I'm
I
a
like Adar.
foreigner in this universe.
Okay. Cyberneticshark, sir.
All right. So this section is when it starts to get really interesting again. And it starts to get action-packed again. And I hands down, I think my favorite part of this section that we're talking about is the fight sequence between Galadriel and Sauron. That is absolutely a great, amazing battle between those two. I thought the choreography was done well. I thought that their fighting was done well. And I just absolutely loved it. And the fact that as they're fighting, Sauron turns into different people as he's doing it. And eventually herself, and she's battling herself, I thought was super cool too. And so I thought that whole section was probably my favorite portion of this section of the episode. And it just really pulls it together very well, gives you a really good glimpse of how strong Galadriel really is and how great of a, leader and how badass she is. And just how that, her character that we see briefly in the movies and the Lord of the Rings films is nowhere what, this Galadriel is. And so we know that, Galadriel's been around for years, but we don't know about her past and stuff like that. So it's been really great seeing them kind of give us a little more history on her. And this just shows how amazing an elf she is. And I just thought that, Morphin did a great job here in the fight sequence. I was really impressed with their swordplay. And I was impressed by her. I was really shocked. I was like, holy crap, she actually can fight in a scene. I was really surprised. And the guy that plays Sauron, that guy is so great. I have loved him this whole season. He's been fantastic. And he just, every time he has like a speech, he is so incredibly amazing at it. And even in some of the scenes where he's given kind of a speech when he's fighting Galadriel are amazing as well and done really well as too. So I was really impressed, like I said, with that section of the episode. And pretty much, leading up to this section, once again, it's kind of almost like not filler, but it's helping the story move along, getting you an idea of, the dwarves finally coming to help, and just like Jeff said, where it seemed like he was talking to only like 50 dwarves, and how this dwarf army came out of nowhere and like takes over the orcs is way quicker than the elves did. It makes no sense too as well. I agree, because the elves are way smarter than the dwarves and are, twice the size of the dwarves. So it makes no sense why these dwarves would be able to take the orcs on faster than the elves would. So I think that there was some writing things that they could have done better there. They could have had a better idea of having the dwarves help, I feel. But overall, really great sequence. Gadriel, resisting, keeping the ring, falling over the side too of the cliff was crazy, and overall a really good, almost last portion of the episode.
J-Rat 2000.
Yeah, so a lot of what Cyber said, I agree with a lot of it. And it had an opportunity to show you what kind of a great fighter she was, because she's a lieutenant, she's a leader, and so this gave an opportunity for her to show her fighting ability, which it did. It also gave you an opportunity to see how good of a fighter Sauron is, and watching them fight, because she's a badass, she's an experienced fighter, she's a leader, and other elves look up to her. That's why she's where she's at. So seeing her go up against Sauron, and then seeing Sauron being able to kind of match her a little bit, he kind of gets ousted a little bit, where he, she kicks him and shit, and he like kind of falls to the floor. But you get to also see Sauron uses like his deceptive abilities, where he changes, we forgot about that. He changes faces, or changes bodies, you know what I mean, to look like other people, to kind of throw her off a little bit. And I thought that part was really cool. Like, oh, cool. He's Celebrimbor. Oh, he's her. Oh, he's, the guy that he was before in the first season, that was neat. The part where he ousts her finally, like at the end, he kind of wears her out a little bit, and he stabs her with the crown. And the crown is like, it has some power too, right? But it's got like power of decay. It's got power of decay. So he stabs her with it, and for whatever reason, she's like at the end, and yeah, she takes off the ring. And that was another reason why I looked into like these elf rings, because I was just kind of weird, like how I know he wanted the rings for men because he wanted to distribute them to man, right? But I didn't understand why he wanted her ring for. He was like, give me your ring, right? He looked at it with like some type of like, I need that ring, I want that ring, and then like she was like, you want it, you can have it, right? I don't understand like that part of it, why she was acting like that. But then she does like that whole like fooled you type thing, and she jumps off of the cliff. She survived that. I don't understand how she dropped off that cliff and she was alive at that part. That was really confusing. Like she just took some like 10-foot story dive, stabbed, and was alive at the end of that. I don't know if it was because she put the ring back on her and that ring kept her from dying. That's what I'm thinking from that. I don't know. But that sequence of like them trying to use the ring too after she got stabbed to heal her, and then they did it together to do it. That sequence was that fight with him. I don't want to go too farther ahead because I think that's like the last part of it. But it was really good. You got to see her fight. You got to see Sauron fight, and that exchange was a good transition from what we saw already from Andar, and the transition prior to that to Celebrimbor, and the transition from that to the elf. So it was like it gave you a little bit of everything.
Okay. All right. So we're getting towards the end of the episode. So all right. As for the stranger, We finally learn his name when the stores call him Grand Elf. He likes the sound of that enough to take on a name. Drum roll, he's none other than Gandalf. He has a staff now, too. In Khazad-dûm, Durin is still dealing with the death of his father, but already other dwarf lords, including his brother, are making moves for the crown. It seems he'll have no time for mourning or for offering aid to the elves. As for the elves, Galadriel, healed by Elrond using her ring, wakes up and recovers. The elves stand together, ready to continue the fight against Sauron and the rising darkness of Middle-earth in Season 3. So, I'll go to you first, J-Rat. Your thoughts, sir.
Kind of, we were talking about this at the beginning of the before Cyber came in about the Grand Elf, and I mean they explained that the hobbits about they've never seen an elf before, and they called him Grand Elf, and then it got mushed into Gandalf, and that was okay. It was like, oh, cool, you know. I've seen it done before, and so like I was like, okay, all right. We took another idea from somewhere and made it this idea here. It was pretty cool, but I don't know that I was excited for it to be Gandalf. Again, I think prior shows we did, I was like, I'm okay with a new character, and they didn't give us a new character. They gave us a beloved character, which is, I guess, is fine too. You know, I guess a younger Gandalf. Do we talk about the part with the elves in the forest? Can we talk about that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So kind of want to.
The episode. We're done. We're done.
We're done. Skis. Okay. Yeah. So that part where they heal her because they use the rings, and again, all of this stuff with the rings makes me question everything. Like, why are we still using the rings? Right? I thought they were bad. And he was like, I can help. And the other one puts the ring on, and then they do the elf chant, and they heal her because the elf rings are for healing and to slow down and stop decay. And that crown creates decay when it touches you or stabs you. It gives you besides a mortal rune, he said something else, like it was like trapping her soul or something like that. And that's when they were trying to do the thing, because it wasn't so much about her dying, it was more so that it was keeping her from being able to go to like the afterlife, because it was trying to like capture her soul or something like that. I'm saying it all wrong, but it was in that nature of what was going on. And those rings saved her, which made me look up of why they are using those rings and why they, were having their hands up in the air. They did the whole like, yeah, let's unite, and they put their hands up in the air. It was really interesting. So now I'm more interested to know like what's the part of the elf rings and going further, along with getting the 9 rings of man that are all corrupted. And then now we know the dwarfs are going to be looking to challenge power. Remember, because they said, "Oh, your brother's coming here to challenge your legitimacy as the new king," and they showed Durin looking at the rings. He had all the rings on the table, so he's looking at all the rings on the table because they never passed him out. They leave you off on that. Like, what does that mean? Is he going to put on the ring so that way nobody challenges him, or and follow the same thing that his dad did, or looking at him like, "Hey, we need to get rid of these." And then the Bobadil, talking about his name. Is that what they're going to call me? That's what he says. Is that what they're going to start calling me? Gandalf? Is that my name? And then he brings up the staff. But I'll leave it at that. I'll let y'all bring that up. That's enough of my rant.
All right, we're at the con.
So when you say we're at the end, so like everything, even where they show Durin's
The end of
brother.
the episode.
Okay. So the part I want to talk about would be the revealing of Durin's brother, because this whole time, and I think others can say the same, we never thought that Prince Durin had a brother. We thought that he was the only one below King Durin, and the power automatically comes to him. But when we learned that he has a brother, and we see that he's making moves, trying to get to the crown. We see elder dwarves like supporting the brother. That's where I'm like, okay, they're really setting us up for season 3. It's gonna be one of those power struggles, and in my view, I think it'll be one of those like petty power struggles, the ones that are like least interesting, but at least it has some influence on the overall story. So, I mean, bravo to Rings of Power creators for adding the brother. But I wish I knew about him sooner. That's all.
Cyber.
So the conclusion of the episode is interesting. I feel it's really trying to push forward and rev up for the next season, especially with the whole power struggle with Durin after his father's death and his brother come to try to get the crown and become the next king. So I think that definitely is going to be a foreshadowing that definitely is a foreshadowing of the upcoming season of season 3. And the whole Gadriel surviving the fall thing is really interesting. The fact that the rings from the Alps are have the healing ability, shows how much different they are from the other rings, the rings of manpower. And I think that was an interesting kind of take on, like, well, Gadriel, we do see her later on in Lord of the Rings, so we can't kill her off, and so we got to keep her alive somehow. So what better way is to use one of the rings that were made for the Alps to be a portion of what keeps her alive? And I thought that was kind of an interesting little take. And through this whole series, the whole season, with the building of the rings and so forth too, as well. The fact that there are these elven rings, I was really shocked by, because I just knew about the rings that the men were given, and a few other people were given these rings of power. So I think that it's interesting. They're really kind of try to focus on the elven rings and kind of give them more of a story. So that's been really fun. I have found, and the fact that became a main part of Gadriel's, living in the end of this episode, I thought was really cool. The conversation that she has with Elrond about her healing, I thought was really well done, really well acted. A good portion of the episode as well. The Alps all cheering in succession at the end. It was really fun, showing that they're getting ready for battle to take on Sauron, and that they're not giving up with a fight. And I thought it was a really solid conclusion to a great episode. It didn't leave us on a cliffhanger, which I was happy about. And it's, basically getting us ready for the next season, especially, with the ending, having the stranger say, oh, they're going to call me Gandalf. That's my name. Was an interesting little thing. I as soon as he said that, I was like, literally just taken back going, holy shit. They're finally saying that he's Gandalf. I'm like, oh, well, there goes a lot of theories down the drain. Because I know that over the last 2 seasons, a lot of people have been, saying, some have been saying he's Gandalf, some have been saying he's Saruman's, and so forth and stuff like that. So it was kind of nice to finally give an actual definitive kind of name to the character to see where they're going with this. So I was actually very happy that they said, oh, this is Gandalf. And I was like, oh, thank God they finally got that out of the way. Like, taking more than 2 seasons to explain who a character is, I that's not good storytelling to me. You want to get that out of the way so you can focus on more storytelling for that character to progress on to get to the point that we recall him from the movies and stuff like that. So I think that, having that as kind of the ending of the episode was really clever too. So I thought that was really cool. The fact that the name is derived from Great Elf, I thought that was kind of interesting. I never heard that before. I don't recall that in the books when I read the book. So maybe I missed it. Maybe I just don't remember. But I thought that was kind of interesting, and that it was that particular band of Hobbit people that gave him the name. So I thought that was interesting too, and hence why he has that affinity for, the Hobbits and the Lord of the Rings. So that kind of gives you that essence of that he is Gandalf too as well. So I thought very solid ending, very well done, and can't wait for the next season.
Okay, thank you, Cyber. All right, let's do ratings for the episode. Wrath of God, give us a rating.
I'll give it a 10 out of 10 as well. I mean, very well done. Great graphics as always. Great way to end the entire season.
I mean, you were speechless during the episode, so of course it's a 10.
Oh, yeah.
J-Red 2000.
Dude, that word slipped out of my mouth. Okay.
J-Red 2000.
It was a solid episode. I'd give it a 10 for what it is.
You were speechless, J-Rent.
It was captivating.
Wrath, you got a good smile. You got a good smile, sir.
Thank you, Jeff.
I also give it a solid 10. I thought it was fantastic. It's one of my favorite episodes of this season. I thought it was a really stellar, season finale. You don't get those quite often. A lot of season finales they can either leave you on a cliffhanger, or they can not really complete certain storylines, or give you at least something to push on the storyline for you, so that you're not like fully in complete turmoil leading into the next season. So I really enjoyed that they kind of closed things off in this episode to give it a really proper season finale, so that you're ready to go for the next season. So I hands down, I have to give it a 10. I thought it was really great storytelling.
Okay, and I will give episode 8 a 9. I'm not going to give it a 10 because I want to be careful dropping 10s on Rings of Power, to be honest with you. But it was a good episode. So 9 is a good rating for the show. And that is it, guys. Thank you very much. Great job. We are done. The Rings of Power season 2 reviews are over. We knocked that bitch out. Thank you very much, guys. J-Rent, great job, brother. We appreciate you. Wrath, it's been real, bro. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate you. Cyber, appreciate you, bro. We killed that bitch. So we're gonna plug out of here. And True Knowledge is gonna get some pussy. Fuck yeah. What's up? You know it. I wish it was Nori's pussy, but it's not.
Yeah.
Wrath. I bet, Wrath, could you imagine if you got drunk and banged Poppy?
I think all of us need to be drunk if we are to comfortably do that.
Oh, if you're
I don't think Cyber would with a clear mind.
Yeah, I can see why you would need to have a couple of alcoholic beverages before you would step to Poppy. That's understandable.
I mean, J-Ren said she looks like very bad.
She looks homeless.
She's rough looking. She's rough looking, bro. You ever seen her hat? Yeah. She has like a hat made out of sticks and shit.
Bro, you thought it was a guy.
She looks like those videos. The ones
I thought it was a dude.
Now give you head for like $20 or $10.
No, she's worth $0.
Just for a little bump.
I think Poppy should pay you to blow you. Like give you $20 and give you a blowjob.
I think that's better.
Okay.
Could you imagine that if you were walking down the street or whatever, and like some little miniature like short chick walked up to you and was like, "Hey, I'm gonna give you a blowjob. I'm gonna suck your dick and give you $20.
And she looked like that?
What would you think about that? Yeah. And she looked like Poppy.
I hope she doesn't carry any diseases.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll take the $20.
Oh my god. Imagine being the dude that went to the prom with Poppy.
Although what?
Good for you, sir. Imagine being the dude that took Poppy to the prom.
That guy. I feel sorry for him.
Jared 2000.
Yes. Thank you for having me on the show and completing the Rings of Power. If you guys want to hear me talk or get a good laugh, you can always visit my Jared 2000s podcast Odyssey. You can find me on Apple. You can find me on Spotify. You can find me on Facebook. You can always put a comment there. If you ever wanted to, interested in being on a show or you have a good topic, just send me a message. Send Jeff a message. Send us a message. Send anybody a message, and we'll reach back out to you, and then we can see what we could do. Check it out.
I've got some idea. I've got some ideas, J-Rat. We got to talk. I've got some ideas.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm ready. I'm all ears.
I've got some thoughts on some stuff we can do, some content we can make.
Perfect.
That may or may not involve the TrueKnowledge, pull a tampon out of a bitch's pussy with your teeth challenge.
And you know what? I'm okay with that story. I'm okay with you telling that story.
Yeah, he did that with a ghost.
Yeah.
Just.
Well,
I want the backlash. I want to hear what people have to say. That's what I want.
Ghosts don't have a menstrual cycle, Wrath.
How do you know?
They're ghosts, man. Cyber.
Yes. All right, folks. So if you enjoyed me here on the panel or as a moderator, you can check out my solo content. You can find me under Cyberneticshark. You can find me on YouTube. You can find me on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Patreon, pretty much anywhere they post stuff. You can check my stuff out there. YouTube is kind of my central ground. So if you enjoy watching reviews or trailer reactions, stuff like that, check those out. I see my most recent trailer reaction was for Transformers 1, which I did go see last week. And we'll have a review for that up soon. And, great movie. Very interesting origin story. Did not see that coming. Thought it was definitely different than I thought. But yeah, if you enjoy me on here, definitely check that stuff out. Check out Andreas Pop Culture guys too. And of course, always keep on checking out the MCU's Bleeding Edge. Check out our lives and our other stuff too as well. Keep on subscribing to us and watching us and all that good stuff. And thank you very much for slamming it out. And I see there more little mini reviews for you guys.
Hell yeah, I'm willing to slam it out, baby. On the MCU's Bleeding Edge, we slam it out whenever we can. We try to, but it takes two to tango. So sometimes we try, but it doesn't happen. But we try to. So hey, it's October 2024, y'all. We only got 2 months left after October for the rest of the year. Then we're going to be in 2025. I'm really excited. Captain America 4 is coming out in February. I can't wait.
Yeah. Let's hope it's good.
Simon, are you excited for Captain America 4?
I am. Finally getting to see Red Hulk in live action form, and hopefully, from that trailer, it looked really good. So it looks like it's gonna be fun. Hopefully, all the reshoots and all that crap doesn't screw it up.
You gotta love these audio delays when somebody has bad Wi-Fi. It really makes it creates some awkwardness at times when you're live. You gotta love it. Sorry about that, guys. The audio delay is not fun, but unfortunately, with poor Wi-Fi, that it will happen. You guys were awesome about it. Anyways, folks, we appreciate all of you on X Rumble, Rumble, Twitter, Facebook Live, YouTube, all the wonderful platforms that we're on, Twitch. Take care. Have a wonderful weekend. Make sure that you take the True Knowledge tampon challenge for 2024 this weekend. And I love everybody here on the panel. Big Bleeding Edge. Good weekend to y'all, to you gentlemen, you fine gentlemen. And we'll see all of you Monday for the Penguin episode 3. Or you'll see Cyber and me anyways. Peace. We out.